Okay, loves. EDC round two just ended November 2nd through 6th, 2024. And of course, last year was so great. I had to get on the boat this year, and I did. By way of review, they sent us, Pasquale and Six Man in Norwegian sent us a EDC 2024 post-event survey. And I thought a fun way to review the year two would be to take the survey while recording with you. So let's get into it, shall we? How would you rank this event as a vacation? Best vacation ever. Top 3, top 10, top 100. For me this year, it's definitely top 100. Last year, it would have been top 3. And I'm sure as the survey goes on, we'll get into the reasons why. How likely is it you would recommend EDC to a friend or colleague? Okay, y'all, I'm a heavy 7 on that one this year. The last year was a 10, but Oh, okay. Please share the main reason for your rating. Okay, this is very person dependent because I am not a cruise person. So if you're not a cruise person, eh. However, me not being a cruise person, I loved last year because I felt it was a music festival that happened to be on a cruise. Music festival happened to be as a cruise. If you see my video last year, you know I feel it's the only way to rave if you like music festivals because it's like you get to be with the artist. It's a smaller crowd. It's not as crowded. You get to see a set and go to your room and chill out and take a power nap and then go back. No porta potties, clean restrooms. Everything's great. Everything is great. It is the only way to rave. It's the creme de la creme of raving. Mwah, sprinkle the salt, all of it. Love it. With that said, this year I wasn't as familiar with the lineup, so there was a lot of slower times for me. And at those times, it did feel more stuck on a cruise shipy to me than a music festival. And in those cases, I would have rather been on a land festival, left for the day, did my own thing in my own world, and came back the next day. So I learned the lineup is really important for me. Um, What was your favorite moment of the cruise? Okay, with no question, the bar crawl. The second bar crawl. I was on the second bar crawl and we were with To Be Honest and Kai Williams, and they did secret sets for us. I mean, we were in like the rave cave and then the candy casino, and like one was a surprise, and like, oh my gosh, like there was probably 20 of us on this bar crawl, and it was such an intimate, fun party experience with it was yes, like it's $40 and it was worth it when it was just the bar crawl because last year they didn't do secret sets, but I could have paid 80 and just been like yes because it was yes. Now I heard the first bar crawl didn't have secret sets, and I just feel like that should just be a standard now. That just you just made a standard. I should be able to book any bar crawl next year without having to worry which one has the secret sets because that was amazing. Pasquale, that that was everything. That was everything. That was everything. Everything. Whew. Yes. Okay. How likely are you to sell on EDC next year? Okay, I'm somewhat likely. I want to, my heart wants to, I just want to be a part of this adventure. But, oh, if you don't mind sharing, why or why not? So I kind of already said that the lineup, they had so many great artists. I just wasn't familiar with them. And I guess the best way to say this is my friend was saying, well, how else do you discover new artists? And I answer, not by paying $4,300. So that's where I stand on that. For $4,300, I would have went to Europe for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. But to discover new music, I would have preferred to be at a land festival for like $600 in any of the artists, I'd have been like, oh my gosh, they're amazing, because they were. But to discover them for 600 is different than discovering them for 4,300. Last year, there were a lot of artists I knew, and it was like, the price tag is worth it. The being on the, it was just, I'm new to EDM. 2019 was my first taste of it. Then 2020 happened, and we weren't really back on track with 2021. So I'm still building up my knowledge of artists. So yeah, there we go. How did you find your way around the ship during the cruise? Ship maps posted in hallways. I didn't have to ask any crew members. The elevators had TVs, and I looked at those every time I was in an elevator. Printed map in your boarding day welcome sheet, yes. And other than that, we just wandered, side quest, right? What did you use as your main source of up-to-date information? The TV slides in the elevators, sixman.net today. That was a free site we were able to go on and see the schedule and any changes that they made. So I used those. Oh, and the ship announcements. They would play over the loudspeakers. How important is the destination when deciding to sell with us? Okay, it's not important. It was not important to me. However, I enjoyed last year because we did Nasu or Nasa, I don't know how to pronounce it, but I did a walking tour, and it was nice to see, like, be a place where there's locals and we can get some of the culture if you choose to, and then go back and do the DJ sets. For this year, the destination was just the beach. And don't get me wrong, the beach was amazing. Loved partying on the beach till sunrise, but there was nothing else. Like I did find it more enjoyable being able to also see the culture of the place we were at versus just an island where it was just us. Yeah. So it's not important. I would, if I'm going to book it anyway, but it is a nice bonus to be somewhere where there are locals. Please rate your communication with Sixth-Man prior to the cruise in the Facebook group, emails, etc. I didn't need anything prior to the cruise, but I am part of the Facebook official group. And Sixth-Man Betty is amazing. Anytime people asked a question, she had it answered within like an hour or less. Very interactive. I thought it was great. During the cruise, regarding schedule changes, onboard announcements, also great. After the cruise, also great. If you have any thoughts on how we can improve, please share. None. Please rate the following items. Service of the Sixth-Man staff prior to the cruise, outstanding. During the cruise, outstanding. Norwegian staff, outstanding. Like, everyone was amazing that I interacted with at any time. Did anyone from Sixth-Man or Norwegian Cruise go above and beyond to make your vacation amazing? Okay, another shout out to Sixth-Man Betty, because I lost a bottle of wine, and I messaged her in the Facebook group, and she found my bottle and had it delivered to my room. Magic. It was great. I loved it. Thank you, Sixth-Man Betty. If you had a service experience with Sixth-Man staff team member that stands out in your mind, good or bad, please share. That would be the only one. If you had a service experience with Norwegian Cruise Line, I didn't need anything, but in passing, everyone was nice and friendly. Please rate the following items. Lineup. Oh, you guys. Okay, I'm going to do neutral, and that's just because, again, I didn't know a lot of the artists going into it. Concert schedule. I'm going to go neutral on that too, with a little bit towards poor. I'm so sorry, but hear me out. It says, if you have any thoughts on how these could be improved. Not for the lineup, no, because I don't know how you pick lineups, but concert schedule. Okay. I I would like a few artists to go on earlier. I think they did a great job of some days, maybe one artist would play at like 4 a.m., but then the next day they play at 11 or midnight. I just would like not to have to get up or stay up till 2 a.m. to see an artist. Just a little more, that's all. Again, I think when artists played more than once, they both had a very late set and a kind of earlier set, and I just lean towards the earlier sets. We played Insomniac Radio over the ship speakers. How did you feel about it? Okay, Pasquale, thank you for asking that question. Okay, so I did love it, the music in general, and I will download it. I don't care about the radio. I'm here for the shows. I would love to hear a wider variety of music outside of the playlist. None of the above. Kind of all of the above, because I am here for the shows. I did like it. I would like to hear more variety. Even last year, I mentioned maybe DJ Snake. At one point, he did a hip hop set. And it was just nice after so many days of different EDM sounds to just party to something different. It was just an hour, but it was great. And as far as the radio, it's just because it was played literally everywhere. Where last year, Observation Deck 15 was a nice place to chill out and relax. Because you might say, oh, go back to your cabin. Well, we all know your cabin might not be that quiet, depending on who your neighbors are, because a lot of people bring that party back. Some of your roommates might bring that party back, but the observation deck was a nice place to go for silence. This year it was closed down because it was the only place big enough for the crew to use as an office. I'm not sure if they had this last year, but they had a nest where it was a big seating area. Very colorful, very nice and playful, but the music was blasting. So no rest. It's like where music is everywhere, literally, and there was nowhere to escape from it. I thought the nest, if you did have to play music there, possibly lower the volume. And it's my request for me personally would be the balcony on level 8 of the ship. Even there, the music was playing, and again, sometimes loudly. I'm like, at least there, just let us have a space where it is quiet, where we can just sit down and chill. And if people want to hear music, we have our earphones. So I just that really space. I request. That would be my request. Just truly quiet. So yes, it was nice, but just hearing it literally everywhere. The nest in the balcony, I would just, yeah. Before selling, which artists were you most excited to see? Sorry. What were your favorite performances during the cruise? Okay. Coco and Breezy. That was amazing. Love their set. Love them as artists. I'm following them now, right? Griffin, another, okay. 2 a.m. set. Awesome. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Kai Williams, to be honest, not just their secret sets, their own sets were great too, but oh my gosh, bonus for the secret. Just all-time favorite memory for the secret sets. And I didn't catch the artist's name, but when we were selling off during the fireworks, there was an artist that I enjoyed. He remixed That Girl Is Poison. Touched my heart. Yeah, it was great. So yeah, of course, learn new music. Please choose any artist you discovered on this cruise, all of them. Please tell us up to 3 new to EDC artists, performers you would like to see in a future cruise. Okay, I'm always going to be a fan of like Calvin Harris and Tiesto and David Guetta, just because those were some of the first people I was introduced to. And a lot of them were on last year, as far as like Afrojack and Galantis. Other artists I would like to see. There's this this artist is on board next year, I'm there. Any of the ones I just named, including the new ones. And, I like Hardwell, Oliver. Oh, gosh. And I'm sure for those of you who know EDM music, you're probably like, geez, I'm in a certain genre or sound of it, but that's where I'm at in my music journey. So give me a chance to catch up. Okay, please rate the following experiences. Okay, so they have tons of experiences throughout the boat, and it's great. Candy crafting oasis. Didn't go, passed by it plenty of times. I know it's enjoyable. Polaroids, didn't get on the boat early enough for that. Namaste, static dance yoga, didn't do it. Groove and Grow yoga jam, didn't do it. Sound healing, I did do it. And I did it first sound healing ever last year on the cruise. Amazing. I cried. This year, I didn't enjoy it because I was too cold. The room for me was absolutely freezing and uncomfortable. And I don't know what made me stay in it, but I couldn't get into it because of the temperature. Shay was amazing. She is wonderful. Just the temperature was too much for me, too low for me. Raver size. I didn't do it this year, but last year I did. A lot of this had to do with timing. I'm kind of an early bird. Like I could stay up to 3 a.m. and still get up at 7. And some of this, like raver size, in my memory, it was earlier. It was like 9 in the morning, maybe 10. This year, it's skewed towards the afternoon. And that went back to me feeling trapped on a boat cruise a little bit, where before it seemed like there was some events earlier in the day, and these were all later this year. I might be wrong, but I kind of remember waking up and having something to do versus just, okay, this is very silent right now. Not silent like don't play the radio all over the place silent, but silent like no activities. Okay. Hula Hoop Through Paradise wanted to do but didn't. Sandcastle building wanted to do but didn't, but took some pictures in front of ones that were built. Character brunch is always fun. It was fun last year. Great. Cereal bar. Also liked it. Now, last year they had it in the theater, which I thought was so cute. It was like a bougie way to watch Saturday morning cartoons with cereal. I loved it. This year, because they made the theater a DJ set, they had it out in the Pearl in the open, and they had bean bags on the floor. I do think they needed more bean bags, and I did have to get over the comparison to last year. And once I did, I'm like, oh, this is really chill. Just like snuggling up in my bean bag, eating my cereal, watching the Jetsons and Scooby-Doo, childhood stuff. Well, my childhood, don't know about yours. You're probably like, I don't know, Powerpuff Girls. Let's see. Frick Frack Blackjack didn't do. The Beauty Bar I did not do, but I did go by it quite a few times and love seeing the new hairstyles that came out and the makeup. I would do it next year if it was there and I was in a crunch to get something done. Flavor Festa tasting experiences. Okay, I did the Bacardi tasting and it was so much fun. Great crowd. It was just a vibe. I would do a tasting next year again. Rave bingo and baller bingo. I wanted to do rave bingo, missed it. Booze and Beats bar crawl. Again, loved it. It was my favorite event. Up to $80 as long as there's secret sets again. If the DJs are playing, I'm all about it. I'm all about it. It was only 40. Pascal, don't raise the price just because I think it's totally worth it, but still, I would pay it. If it was guaranteed to have the DJs play sets, I'm all about it. I'm not sure if I missed saying Rainbow Rascals karaoke. I wanted to do that. Also missed it. And again, in my memory, I feel this is because they made everything start later. So you had to choose between an activity or going to see a show. Where before I felt like it was more spread out, like some of the activities were earlier in the day. And then that's my memory. Which experiences would you love to see again next year? All of them. Laughs Ahoy. I don't think I mentioned that. That's the comedy. It was nice to go see a set. But again, I was choosing between seeing a DJ or going to the experience. But yeah. Do you have any suggestions for new experiences? I don't, but I'll think about it. These are great. Did you take advantage of any of the following additional offerings from Norwegian Cruise Lines? Spa, no. Casino, no. Specialty dining, yes. And I mentioned this last year. I totally think it's worth it to do 2 or 3 of them. It's you get it, you beat the crowds. You're not in a long line. The food is a little more elevated. I mean, it's not land elevated. It's cruise ship elevated, but it's still good, and you still miss the lines. Okay, Starbucks coffee. Fun fact, I've never had coffee in my life. So, no. Photo gallery, no. Art gallery, no. Juice bar, no. Shopping. So, basically, none of the above. Would you like to share any feedback about the offerings you participated in? Specialty dining? Worth it. What additional offerings would you like to have access to in the future? A quiet room. Yeah. Again, balcony on 8 would be my preference, or the Nest, volume down. Did you purchase event branded merchandise? No, but the reason is the one day I wanted to was to go to the beach. I wanted like an EDC bucket hat or a towel or something, but the shop was closed that day. Something about the taxes because we were docked at port. And if they had made that announcement prior to that, I would have definitely purchased it the day before. But that day it was closed, and then after I was just over it. Okay. Event branded merchandise. Okay, so I didn't get any of that. Any items you want to see in the future? I don't know, but thanks. I like how they're like asking us for ideas. I think that's really cool. Okay, a lot of information about me they want to know now, so I'm just going to put that in so I can move on. Would you like to share any additional feedback about your experience? Honestly, I think we covered it. I think my main thing would be a place to escape to where there is no music playing. That is really hard on my wish list. High on it. And then just a few things starting earlier in the day again. One thing I saw a lot in the Facebook groups was something about like an open deck, or just basically headliners that are DJ can have a moment to just play for a crowd, and I think that's cute. And maybe that's something that can happen earlier in the day. I don't know. Okay. Da 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 da. Just a bunch of follow through questions, and we are at the end of the survey. So, okay. That was EDC 2024. And I do hope to be in EDC 2025. Instead of 4 days and we're getting off the boat on the 5th, it's going to be 5 days and we're getting off the boat on the 6th. So we get an extra day. They're going to Belize. And I do want to be there. I do want to be there. I just know for the price, I want to be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe so-and-so is going to be there. And by next year, maybe my repertoire of DJs would be wider and it wouldn't matter anyway. But for now, I do know like I'd rather go to a few land festivals or a trip than go on the boat and not know as many artists, which again is probably uniquely my issue. Because I've had a lot of people say they like this lineup better than last year because of the type of EDM it was. I don't know. So yeah, I'm hoping to be there in 2025, but if not, I'll be looking for your reviews. Bye. Okay, wait. One more thing really quickly. An event that wasn't listed, they did a catwalk competition. So when the headliners, and for those of you who don't know, EDC says the headliners are us, the ravers. So when I said the headliners who are DJs earlier to play, have a deck for them to play on, I meant the guests, the ravers. But they did a catwalk with ravers. There was a sign up. I don't know if this was known before we got there, but they did a sign up around 2 o'clock, and at 2:30, people who signed up for it walked the catwalk. And it was in the theater, and it was full of people. We had 5 DJs, 5 DJs judged, slay or chop. And they narrowed it down and narrowed it down and narrowed it down. And then, of course, there was one person standing. And that was fun. I think more interactive events like that. I don't know what they were going to be, but that was a blast. I enjoyed that so much. That's all that I remember to add. All right. See you next year. Maybe.